Victoria. Located on Vancouver Island's south coast, the City of Gardens prides itself on its beautiful public realm, derived from both its geographic location on the ocean and also its well-preserved colonial-era architecture. This video essay will look at three public spaces within the city. Market Square, a privately owned and managed high-end retail destination, complete with office space and a nightclub. Centennial Square next to City Hall. And the Wharf Street waterfront, including the former Enterprise Wharf and Ships Point parking lots. A bland place architecturally, but surprisingly vibrant nonetheless.
Market Square is bounded by the lower block of Johnson, Store, and Pandora Streets, and the courtyard in the center now covers the ravine which ran east to west between Johnson and Pandora. Market Square dates back from the prosperous 1880s and early 1890s, when Victoria enjoyed extraordinary growth and affluence through the world's demand for the island's lumber, coal, sealskins, and salmon. The businesses in this area have always represented the principal area of commerce in Victoria, catering to supplying ships, sailors, and gold prospectors during the gold rush years in 1858 till 1863. Its shops outfitted and provisioned thousands of miners, and its saloons and hotels provided cheap accommodation, wine, women, and entertainment. The solution to improving the economy once again lay with tourism. As well, a heritage society was formed in Victoria in 1973 to identify and protect historical and architecturally important buildings. It was recognized that the city's former allure had to be restored in order to attract more visitors. The design principles employed in the spatial layout of Market Square complex holds the earliest examples of Italianate Victoria style. The built environment and architectural aspects of the site showcase examples of masonry buildings that were popular in the city at the time. The square fits very well within the spatial morphology of the larger city. Market Square is comprised of 1.5 acres of private property, owned by Anthem Properties since 1997. The location is advertised as very popular for those looking for non-traditional office space that has a component of creativity to it. Market Square's creative office space hosts the office locations of a variety of tenants, including architects, high-tech firms, music production companies, designers, and alternative health practitioners. Anthem Properties allows particular social events to take place during the day, allowing full accessibility to the public. However, the narrow gates on all entrances are locked after business hours each day. Events that occur at Market Square include the Winters Farmers Market, the Island Ukuleles, Tuba Christmas, Greater Victoria Concert Band, A Christmas Carol, and Skafest. With more than 35 independently owned and operated local shops, eateries, and a nightclub, Market Square is promoted as a must-see tourist destination. The square tailors primarily to tourists and less towards the local community. Multiple observations of the site indicate that Market Square lacks vibrancy and vitality, likely due to poor access from the street. In 1963, the 100th birthday of Victoria was marked by the creation of Centennial Square. This was the beginning of a vast scheme to preserve, restore, and revive downtown Victoria. McPherson Playhouse, a newly renovated police station, a parkade, specialty shops, a senior citizen center, and a sunken knot garden were all arranged to form the square. City Hall was conceived in the Second Empire style popular at the time, with a typical mansard roof, tower, and rich ornamentation. The building remains one of the best surviving examples of this style in Western Canada. Centennial Square is public property owned by the City of Victoria and is accessible to the public at all times of the day. Victoria's Spirit Square was designed to make Centennial Square more inviting to the general public and increase opportunities for celebrations and concert events. The Spirit Square design includes 3 key components. Spirit Beach, which is a canopy turnkey performance stage which will accommodate small and medium-sized events and markets. Spirit Garden, which is a restful place to experience 2 First Nations spirit pools, a sculptured drinking water ladle feature, and a native plant garden. And the Spirit Plaza, which is the area in between that will be enhanced by new lighting, landscaping, and outdoor furnishings. The square's open design and improved lighting make it safer and more visually appealing. Site improvements and infrastructure encourage greater use of the venue for outdoor festivals and also help support Victoria's arts and culture community. The Spirit Square is an important step in the city's overall plan to rejuvenate the north end of downtown. Many cultural, civic, and music events occur annually in Centennial Square. Due to its accessibility to City Hall, the fact that the square is a public space, the openness, visibility, inclusiveness, accessibility to utilities, and availability 24 hours a day, Centennial Square is an ideal location for public demonstrations such as the Occupy movement. At the moment, Centennial Square primarily tailors to the local community, mostly civic workers and not so much tourists. The city's official community plan for the square includes continuing to support festivals, celebrations, and special events at major public open spaces. So there is a possibility that with continued rejuvenation, Centennial Square could become a more vibrant square. Unlike Market Square, the open street frontages make it a more vibrant and successful public space.
The Wharf Street waterfront consists of 2 surface parking lots on land with the potential to be prime public space in Victoria. The area has a rich and important history, a history that is now rudely neglected by its modern built form. Beginning in 1858, the Wharf Street waterfront was the gateway to Victoria for thousands of gold seekers in multiple gold rushes. The Enterprise Wharf was built to accommodate steamboats carrying miners up the Fraser River. The Hudson's Bay Company's brick warehouse opened in 1859 and was the largest building in the colony. It was demolished in the 1940s, but its stone and brick foundations still form part of the Wharf Street retaining wall. The Customs House was completed in 1875 in the Mansard style, emulating the Parliament buildings in Ottawa to assert the presence of Canadian law amid the turbulent events that accompanied the gold rush. Today, this is the oldest building in Victoria. The design principles employed in the spatial layout of the current design are relics of 20th century automobile-centric planning, as evidenced by the surface parking lots. The city's building stock ends abruptly on the western side of Wharf Street at the escarpment to the parking lots below, while the popular Inner Harbour Causeway ends suddenly when it spills into the southern parking lot. Therefore, the site does not fit well within the spatial morphology of the rest of the city. Buildings within the site other than the Customs House include temporary structures such as the Harbour Seaplane Terminal and the Redfish Bluefish restaurant. The Enterprise Wharf, north of the Customs Building, was the scene of considerable controversy in the 1960s when Sandy Reid proposed a plan to build waterfront high-rises. In response to this controversy, Dave Barrett's NDP government purchased the site for $1.7 million in 1974 and froze development. Development is still frozen, and the Provincial Capital Commission now oversees the site. The parking lot south of the Customs House is owned by the City of Victoria, which operates the day-use parking lot. Despite this area's bland physical appearance, it is surprisingly vibrant and is home to several economic and social activities. Just like during colonization, today the site is the gateway to the city for many people arriving by seaplane from Vancouver, Seattle, and the Gulf Islands, or by boat at the Wharf Street Marina. It is used by locals and tourists, including commuters traveling via seaplane, whale watching tours, seaplane tours, diners at 2 restaurants, or those simply taking a stroll along the waterfront. The Wharf Street waterfront hosts many festivals throughout the year, including Folkfest, Skafest, the Victoria International Cycling Festival, the Ship Point Night Market, and many more. Therefore, the power of 10 rule could be applied to this site to describe it as a successful public place, However, its built form violates this rule. Plans for development have been proposed in the past, but Victoria's scrutiny of change and the symbolic nature of the site have resulted in little to no progress. The Wharf Street Waterfront is of great social and civic importance to the city, and could benefit from thoughtfully planned, mixed-use development that reflects its current uses. The City of Victoria's Downtown Core Area Plan recognizes this. The plan has a goal to develop a master plan to guide the redevelopment of the Ship Point and Wharf Street parking lots, in partnership with affected landowners as well as public and private stakeholders. This development should be mixed use to accommodate the many current uses of the site and also retain important view corridors. The city's public realm could benefit from a public square on the roof, similar to Jack Pool Plaza at the new Vancouver Convention Centre. This square should be accessible from Wharf Street and also continue the pedestrian promenade from the causeway with access to Bastion Square.
Market Square, Centennial Square, and the Wharf Street Waterfront each contribute something unique to Victoria's public realm. Market Square reflects Victoria's history well by preserving heritage buildings while converting them for modern use. However, strict rules for use due to its private ownership result in a lack of vibrancy, and the square usually appears empty unless a scheduled event is taking place. Its poor street access restricts through traffic, further exacerbating this lack of vibrancy. The tall buildings on all sides give the square a claustrophobic feeling and also block the sun in winter months.
Centennial Square is a much more successful public space due to its openness and easy access from street frontages on Douglas and Pandora Streets, as well as its 24-hour accessibility and range of uses. The City of Victoria regularly promotes events in the square, and it is often the scene of political protests such as the Occupy movement, though this use is somewhat overshadowed by the more visible legislature lawns. The historic City Hall building provides a glimpse of Victoria's history, while modern buildings house a theatre, parkade, and CRD offices. While this square is more accessible and visually appealing than Market Square, it often appears empty. However, the city's plans to rejuvenate the northern edge of downtown could revitalize the square and bring further vibrancy. The Wharf Street Waterfront is the most vibrant of our three public spaces, but it lacks an attractive and useful built form to make it a successful public place. It is one of the most important places in the city and is home to a wide range of economic and social activities, and also has an important history reflected by the Customs House which overlooks the site. The city's Downtown Core Area Plan has a goal of fostering development of the site, but no plans currently exist. Future development should be mixed use, offering functionality with transportation, cultural, business, and recreational activities, while incorporating the Customs House into a rooftop public square accessible from Wharf Street. Public spaces are important to any city's sense of community and architectural allure. By blending the Wharf Street Waterfront's vibrancy with a well-planned structure that recognizes the area's importance, the city would gain its most successful public space.